to the Great Eastern Management Associate Program info session. My name is Dania from Team Graduan, and I will be moderating this session. So in this session, our panel will be providing valuable insights of their personal experience in the comprehensive 24-month Great Eastern Management Associate Program, and share what life is like at Great Eastern Malaysia and address all of your inquiries about this program. So before we start, I have a very exciting announcement. Great Eastern is giving away 15 10 ringgit grad vouchers to the first 15 people that, number one, follow Great Eastern on Instagram at live at Great Eastern Malaysia, Malaysia as in MY. And number two, private message them your contact details such as your full name and email address to redeem the voucher. And I repeat, follow their Instagram at live at Gradystep Malaysia, and then message them your contact details such as your name and your email address to redeem the voucher. So hurry up, 15 grab vouchers up for grab. And we would also like to encourage our audience that you may submit your questions in the chat box, and our panel will respond to the questions live throughout the session. Okay, let's not waste any time. Let's proceed with the introduction. Our panel today consists of management associates from Great Eastern, Jason Kian and Tessa Kisham, and also Laura Chien, who is the Learning and Development Analyst at Great Eastern. So let's start with Laura. Can you tell us a bit about you and your journey at Great Eastern Malaysia?
Sure, thanks, Dania. Hi, everyone. Welcome today. Hope you're having a great day. Today is Wednesday. Yeah, great middle of the week so far. Just a bit about myself. I've been in Great Eastern. Tomorrow marks my 5th year. Yeah. So I just realized just now when we were counting. So yeah, I've been here for 5 years at Great Eastern. At my first job till now. My background was actually PR and marketing from Taylor's. So actually nothing related to insurance, but somehow I ended up here and met really wonderful people. And I currently work with the learning and development team under human capital. And I also help to currently manage the management associate program myself. So yeah, I'm always happy to work with young fresh grads, okay, like Tessa and Jason, although they're not so fresh anymore. But yeah, I think really enjoy being part of this program and this company. Yeah.
Happy 5th anniversary, Laura. So thank you for the introduction. What about you, Tessa? Would you like to introduce yourself to the audience?
Sure, thanks, Dania. Hi, guys. I hope you guys are having a good pre-Friday. It's not pre-Friday, but it's pre-Friday, so it's still something exciting. Well, my name is Tessa Kisham, and I've been with Great Eastern for close to 2 years and about 3 months now. And I actually started out my journey with Great Eastern as an intern. I was interning with Great Eastern's Life Human Capital Department. And shortly before I finished my internship, I was offered an interview slot for the MA program. So I took it, and I'm glad I took it. And here I am now, graduated, and I'm actually done with the program. So I'm graduated, and I'm waiting for my permanent placement. Thanks, guys.
Congratulations, Tessa, and thank you for the introduction. And last but not least, we have the only gentleman in this session, Jason. Can you introduce yourself to our audience today, please?
Hi, everyone. All right, thank you, Dan. Hi, my name is Jason, and I'm similar like Laura. I'm from Taylor's as well. She's, I think, my senior. I don't know how senior it is, but yeah, I do have a degree in chemical engineering. So for some of you in the audience that are thinking that, yo, I didn't study finance, but I want to work in a great research company, yeah, you're gonna be like me, yeah. So like a fun fact is, I actually applied through the grad one program itself, and look, here I am. Woo! Yeah.
Yeah, Dania, you're muted.
Dania, you're still muted.
Whoops, sorry. Okay, as I was saying when I was muted, generally before anyone apply for any program, of course, they will first have to learn about all of the information about the program and how we can ace the application process. And that's the aim of today's session, to provide the audience with the tips and tricks about this program. So I'll start with Jason. Jason, can you tell us, about your first day as a Great Eastern Management Associate?
Oh, all right. So my first day, wow, that's like a year ago. It was very interesting. Yeah, first day. It was during just after the MCO. So for me to meet new people on the first day on the office, I'm like, okay, I've never done this. It's like over like 6 months or so. It was kind of weird, but yeah, it was kind of nice meeting new people and clicking with them directly on the first day. And funnily enough, one of my colleagues currently now is also from Taylor's, and I've never met him before. Yeah, Taylor's is a big place. Yep, it was a nice day.
All right, what about you, Tessa? How was your first day as a management associate?
It was actually a pretty eventful day. I was one of those few lucky MAs, or should I say GE employees, that managed to sit for a physical orientation program, which is now currently being done virtually. So I had the opportunity to meet up with my older senior MAs, such as Arisha. She was like there on my first day, and that was also where I met up with my batchmates, and we also went through a whole overview presentation on the history and origins of Great Eastern, and then which led us to participate in team building and also ice breaking session with other new joiners. And I really enjoyed my first day. To be honest, I had a first great week. I am super grateful to have been able to attend my orientation program physically, and also had that 1.5 months of working in office normalcy. So yeah, that was great.
So what happens after the 1.5 months? Did you have to transit to the virtual working life?
Yeah, I was thrown. It's just like, okay, bye, Tessa. That was it.
All right. So of course, before we embark on a new journey, we will naturally have expectations about what we would like to achieve. So, what were some of the expectations that you had before you embark on this program? And did the program meet your expectations? Tessa, would you like to take on this first?
Yeah, of course. So as I mentioned earlier in my introduction, I started my journey with Great Eastern as an intern. So as I was completing my internship program, I actually had the opportunity to work and assist with some of the senior MAs on one of the GE corporate events, which was the annual appreciation award. And I also managed to assist them in their company wellness program event too. I think it was brisk walk at the mall. So yeah, that was fun. So I definitely had a pretty clear idea on what the program would bring and what was expected of me as a management associate. And I so like when I came into the program, I knew that it was going to be more than just departmental rotations. I knew I would be involved in planning and strategizing the corporate events, and also taking up leadership positions to run the company wellness program as well as the Toastmasters Club. So, and I really enjoyed all my time in every rotation as well as participating in those leadership programs. So, yeah, I would say that it definitely met my it met my expectation. Thanks, Dania.
You're welcome, and good to know, that you made your expectations. What about you, Jason? What's your view on this?
Oh, all right. Thank you, Daniel. So for my part, it's like I said, the discipline that I went into and currently where I'm working out is totally different. So, but inside me, I do have a passion in the financial industry. So as a fresh grad coming up from chemical engineering, you don't know what to expect. So I think I can break this question down into two parts. One is pre. So before that, I looked at the management associate program. I was like, cool, they allowed me to they're offering something for you to go around, test some waters, see whether you like the financial program or financial sector or not, and that kind of thing. Then I joined. It's something that I wanted to do. Then when I went it, then which is the second part, the post, whether they achieve it, yeah, definitely. So currently, although I am from a chemical engineering background, the company allowed me to rotate into different departments. So for example, I went into risk management, and now I'm in investment. So it does actually fulfill its role on allowing prospective graduates to go into the financial sector and rotate into different kind of departments to explore yourself. Basically, it's more like when you after SPM you don't know what to study, you study A levels, right? Yeah, this is the same thing. So after you graduate, you still don't know what to work as, you go join the MA program. Yep.
Yeah, that is relatable, and I'm pretty sure, and the audience can relate to that as well. And it's good to know that despite having a different backgrounds, you can still participate, embark on this journey with Great Eastern. So Laura, as as a and development analyst at Gradystep, and also one of the people in charge of this program, can you tell the audience, share with the audience, what will talent undergo in this program, and how is this program different than the others offered by your competitors?
Okay, all right. I hope my research has been comprehensive enough when I talk about other competitors and what we do differently. And maybe, Jason and Tessa can vouch if I say everything accurately. Talent, what everyone will go through is similar to actually what both of them mentioned. I think Jason mentioned is you can do your rotations across the different departments, and we do it giving you the option based on your background, but not just your background, also your interests. So, Tessa, who has a psychology background, Jason with an engineering background, even myself when I was an MA last time with a communications background. Yeah, all three of us, we also ended up doing technical things. We weren't just all shoved into HR or marketing, but they let us try out different things, do be as explorative as you want to be. Okay, so trying out all the different departments and making sure you excel in each and every one of them. It's quite tough actually, adapting, reshuffling your whole brain, new environment, new people, new systems. Everything is new every few months to adapt to that new surrounding. So being able to adapt for sure. Secondly, is like what Tessa said, being in charge of all the company-wide projects and events, not just involved as the coolie that arranges the chairs, although sometimes we do that, but you also are the big shot. You are the one that goes into our CEO's room and gives him the proposal. You are the one managing a 6-figure budget. Maybe so far for COVID it's been 5 figures only okay, 5-figure budget. When COVID goes away and we can get back to our six-figure budget events. But yeah, so joining and organizing and being in charge of all those events, that's another part of you that will really get challenged. Okay, your leadership skills and your confidence. And also on top of this, is whatever other trainings that you'll be involved in, they're not just doing their own thing, but they are always forced to come together to do things. Last week, Monday we just had a debate. Okay, all the MAs just had a group debate, which I think they love, right? Yeah, other than that, sometimes they do other research, other presentations. They do have Toastmasters regularly. So I don't think there's ever a time where they feel comfortable. Maybe a week or so they have a bit of downtime, and then after that it's busy period again. So what I think this program offers more than other competitors is, definitely a lot of opportunities, a lot of exposure, but also flexibility. As I said, they have the departments and the rotations and the training, but they're never forced into any department that they don't want. We always discuss with them, and making sure that everything is okay. If any of them, we have some of our other MAs who might be busy with exams or papers, make sure that the time in projects will be reduced for them. So in terms of looking at every one of our MAs, because we have about, let's say 20 or so, we look at each and every one of them individually and create the path for them. So it's not a copy paste program for all of them. So yeah.
Okay, well, that's interesting. So let's say, I was a management associate program, and maybe, I was assigned to, to go to the finance department. I'm not sure if, it exists at Grayson. Pretty sure it does, but, finance department, but I don't really like finance, so I don't want to do it. If I say no, what would happen? Am I allowed to say no? Like, no, I don't want to go to that department.
Firstly, we wouldn't come to that because we'll have a discussion with you like, hey Danya, like what are you thinking? Where are you planning to head to? What do you want to try? You could be unsure, and then we could like, hey, you want to try finance? You'd be like, I don't think that's my cup of tea. Then we'd be like, okay, maybe not. Or if you're like, maybe I want to try, but I'm not too sure what finance does. Okay, then we'll share with you maybe a JD or point you to another senior or someone from that department. Hey, maybe you want to find out more before deciding anything. Or thirdly, it could be, no, I don't want finance. Please don't ever put me in finance. Then okay, we'll cross it off the list, right? So, and then it could be something else. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, that's, like you said, it's flexible in a way. Yeah. Okay, so usually upon graduation, most graduates would think that, oh, I need to secure a full-time job immediately. Although they don't really know in which industry they would like to venture. Like me initially after I graduated, I didn't really know what I was going to do, what I wanted to do. But now, I've discovered, ever since I started working, I've discovered, oh, there's so many, management associate programs out there. And based on what I've learned about management associate programs in general, I think it's perfect to help those who, have no idea what they're planning to do, in the future. So, would you recommend doing a management associate program instead of, working a full-time position immediately after graduation? And why do you think they should take that path? Jason, would you like to take this one to start?
All right. Thank you, Daniel. So why should you choose the MA program instead of going in directly into a job, say like a fixed position, is that some of us that after your graduation, you are still puzzled, like you would not know where you want to go, where is your passion is. If you directly jump into a fixed position, it's like kind of like you're locking yourself in to some place and you cannot get out of it anymore. Whereas in a management associate program, when you join into it, there is still a flexible part where you can still explore where your passions actually are. So you're kind of not locked in, but you're kind of locked in for 2 years, but you get to rotate around different departments. Actually, finally, with the hopes of the program, the main aim of the program is like after the end of the 2 years, you actually find out what you really want to do. Yeah. So to me, in my opinion, an MA program would be better than fixing yourself in a fixed position if you're unsure on what you are trying to achieve. Yeah.
Thank you, Jason. Laura, would you like to add to that?
Sure. So I've worked with like quite a number of fresh graduates for over the past few years, and I think one thing that we might not take into account for is your experience once you join, because it's your first job, right? So you join in, and then let's say you join finance and it's a bit boring or it's not what you want, and then you start looking out elsewhere, but you only base your entire experience of the company like just in that few months or within just a few people, a few managers. Let's say you have one bad manager or a few bad colleagues, but in the program you'd go from department to department and really find out the different styles. Even if the work is nice, maybe the department might not be so nice. Like it might be a very small team that works very independently, or maybe too huge of a team and you can't really meet everyone. And then there's managers who are micromanagers, and then managers who are super flexible. So I think for you to have an understanding of how the working world works, I think this program helps you like look at things on an overall perspective. I think it's always give and take. There's pros and cons. We don't recommend everyone join the program, because if you are more certain on what you want and you are willing to go and take the risk to get it, that's great. I really envy those people who know what they really want. But this program is for a bit of the lost sheep who just want to take some extra time to figure it out. And yeah, I think it's worth a risk to take 2 years to plan out the rest of your career, you know? Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Jason and Laura, for sharing your view on that matter. So moving on, I'm pretty sure most of the audience are wondering, what are the necessary traits that a talent need to have in order to succeed as a management associate at Gradystep? So Tessa, what do you think are the necessary traits that they need to have?
Like having gone through this program for 2 years now and having completed the program, the necessary traits that I believe would make an MA successful would be being an effective communicator. A person who's able to clearly and concisely articulate any challenges or solutions or any ideas you want to bring forth. And second would be you got to be a long-term thinker because this job can get quite cerebral. Like it really puts your knowledge, your skills to a test. And don't like I know it may sound daunting, hearing that you have to go through all of this to be an MA, but it's actually not. It is how do I put this? It is intellectually stimulating to be a long-term thinker because you want to think things through, and you want to make sure that the ideas that you put forth are valuable. And you also have to be the third one. I would say you would have to be resourceful. You definitely have to be resourceful to do the job that we do, because it really puts you in a lot of challenges on figuring out obstacles, like how to make this event better, how to make sure that this project would ensure that the customers or even our own workforce experience it in a more convenient way, stuff like that. So you got to be resourceful. And lastly, I would say it is important that you are a self-motivated person to be in this program, because as I mentioned many times, it comes with a certain set of challenges, and not to make it hard or anything. It's just to further refine your skills, refine your knowledge to come out, more adaptable and resilient. So it is important to be self-motivated. Yeah, that would be all I can share at the moment. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Tessa. What about you, Jason? What do you think the traits that are necessary for the candidates to have to ace the program, to ace this program?
All right. Thanks, Tanya. One of the most important trait that you actually need is actually being adaptable, because you are going to be transferred from department into another department. So you must be really adaptable in this sense, because each department, they may work on different pace themselves. So you got to, adapt yourself to each different department. It actually trains you a lot of being adaptable and how you can work things or think things instinctively on the fly, and it's a very valuable skill on there. And the second part, which I strongly agree with Tessa, is being self-motivated. At some parts of the time, it might get harsh a little bit, but I mean, diamonds are made under pressure, right? So get what I mean? Yeah, being self-motivated, and there are a lot of opportunities here in Great Eastern. If you take the initiative yourself to go and explore it, that's like a whole gold mine in here that you can go in and mine the entire prospect. So,
Okay, thank you, Jason. So, since all of you came from, different backgrounds before you embark on, the journey as a management associate, so I'm sure you've heard, a lot of misconception about the insurance industry. So, maybe you can share with the audience, what the misconception that, you had about the insurance industry, and, can you pinpoint the moment in which you discovered the reality of things? So anyone would like to take on this one? Okay, maybe we can start with Laura.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Okay, so back then, before I joined the company or knowing anything about insurance, I probably had zero clue about insurance. other than the fact that, yeah, I have 1 or 2 policies. I really enjoyed knowing more about insurance as a whole, because it just adds like a whole new set of general knowledge into your brain. Like, this is one of the major things about financial planning, actually. I mean, I really wish they taught more of this in uni, because, you know, it just makes a lot of sense. It's very practical. Insurance makes so much sense, and it's a lot slightly less boring than banking to me. I mean, banking, you know, is probably a bit straightforward to me, but when it comes to insurance, I think figuring more out about, you know, the products, even how they price it, how the company looks at risk, you know, looking at all the different types of products and the way they market the products. I always find it very interesting up till now. You know, in my 5th year, I still don't think insurance is limited. I think there's really a lot of growth, even in like in the future when it comes to like insurtech, fintech. There's really a lot of room to grow, and it's relevant everywhere in the world. So I really enjoy learning a lot about insurance, because also it's your own personality life. I mean, I like knowing things that I didn't know before, right? So if previously I was really into like maybe when I was younger, I did like the science stream, and also I really enjoyed like bio, chemistry, physics. Then after that, I did like mass comm, advertising, you know, marketing. So insurance adds like a different part to my life, which I really enjoy up till now, as I said. And when did I pinpoint exactly? Probably right after the program, because I've done my rotations in, like, let's say, internal audit, which you know, audit the internal operations of a department. For me at the time was claims, you know, so I learned about the audit process, I learned about the claims process. I went to another department called the digital transformation team, so we learned more about automation in the company one day. And now, yeah, actually automation in the company has already started. Last time I also did rotation in like the agency side, so you learn how agents work. You know, there's also misconceptions that, you know, agents just want to cheat your money and earn lots of commission. It's not true. You can see how and why agents work so hard and get the lifestyle that they get. So I just feel like mind blown every rotation. And now in HR, I work with many different people that go to all those departments. So I always feel like I'm constantly learning something new. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, Laura. What about you, Jason? Because, you know, coming from chemical engineering, and now to finance.
I think thank you, Daniel. But I think it's in everyone's mind. It's a stereotypical thing. Like, I mean, look at me. I'm dressed in a way you would probably think that I'm selling insurance right now. Yeah. So I think there is a stigma in this industry where whenever you see some guy holding a bag and, oh, he's approaching you, he's going to sell you either insurance or some PRS thing and stuff like that. Yeah, it's actually more than that. Like, I didn't know that in the insurance company there is something called an investment arm in every insurance company, that actually they use your premiums to invest in stocks and stuff like that. And there's more to it than just selling insurance and agent pressuring you to buy here and these things and stuff. And you actually get to learn a lot more about the insurance product. And that's what Laura said, which I very strongly agreed as well. You learn more about insurance products and how is it beneficial to you yourself, and also for personal financial planning. And the good thing is, if you're in the insurance industry, whenever you want to buy insurance, yeah, you know whether the agents are cheating you or not, or are they just trying to pull something out or something. And sometimes you might be used by your friends as insurance agents as well. Yeah, that's just a minor fact.
Thank you, Jason. So I'm sure many people, you know, from the audience are wondering, you know, how should they prepare themselves to apply to this program? Tessa, would you like to share how you know, prepare yourself before you apply?
Thank you, Dania. Yeah. Well, at first, I thought it was a pretty nerve-wracking move to apply for this program because, as Laura mentioned, I have a psychology background, which is quite foreign from the business field. So and when I was applying for the position, I was told that I would have to uh, give a presentation during the interview. So I was like, oh, okay, wow. Like, if in all honesty, I was nervous, but then I remember that I have a psychology background, and the thing about psychology, it teaches you the understanding and also the application of difficult situations and difficult emotions and also experiences for human, and it also teaches you in the sense like in multiple context, like you could be studying or you could be working. So I kind of like thought in that manner, and I thought to myself that okay, I could definitely like go through with this program, because all you need to do is be confident and also be a high achiever, because this program requires a lot from you. And I know that I've always been a high achiever. I've always been a straight A student at school, so I knew I could do it. And just be creative in utilizing my skills and my knowledge to take on the challenges, because you're not going to be just parts in one department. You're going to be tapping into multiple department of multiple functions. So you got to be smart with how you use your skills and knowledge when you go into these different departments. So you just got to be adaptable, be resilient, and be just be creative. That's how I would advise those graduates out there on how to prepare yourself into the program. Thank you.
Thanks, Tessa. So, I have a question for Laura. So, as a person in charge of this program, I'm sure you receive so many applications throughout the year. So, what should the candidate do? The tips for the candidates do to stand out among the other, applicants.
I think one thing Tessa mentioned is, you being a high achiever. So while grades are really not the most important thing to us, there is a certain benchmark, right? So of course, definitely work hard on your studies, maybe pass 3.5, or, we have hired people slightly under 3.5 before, of course, they outperform in other ways. But yeah, in terms of like working hard on your final grades, that does matter. Okay, but not the most important thing. And I think what you can see from Tessa is that she has a lot of self-confidence. All right. So while I cannot guarantee I can pick up the phone to call everyone, if I do have the chance to, give you a call, of course, speak with confidence, be proud of your achievements, sell yourself well. Don't be like, oh, I just joined like just one club. No, if you join one club, say that you joined that one club and you did it really well. Like I was in Isaac, I was, doing this and this, even if it's a small thing, show that you were invested in it and you really learned something from it, right? And to show, I guess, in your applications, to show that you are interested to try out something new, I tend to stay away from applications which like, hey, I'm interested to join the management associate program because I really like finance and I want to join finance team one day. Like, okay, but that's not the point of the program. The point of the program is for you to find out something new. So, if you really are interested to try out a lot of things, then be prepared to shout that you are an all-rounder person that is willing to try a lot of things. And yeah, later on, because we do have like group interviews and things like that, what we really need to focus on for our program is interactions with other people. As I said, we have about 20 or so MAs at any time, senior batches, junior batches, and they work very closely with each other. And if you're not able to communicate well with others, work with others, deal with conflict, talk to each other properly, then we find that as a potential problem, because you're going to be working with all the different MAs on the different projects, and they're going to have, everyone there has an opinion, everyone's going to be challenging each other. And other than that, you are going to different departments and meeting different people from different backgrounds. So if you are not so confident talking to others, or will only talk to certain type of people, then we will try to like suss that out and probably think twice. So yeah, we're always looking for friendly people that are willing to talk to anyone about anything. Yeah.
All right, thank you for the tips, Laura. So, I'm sure regardless, of any program, anything that we participate in, there will be some challenges. So what was the most challenging part of the program and how did you overcome these challenges? Jason.
I think the biggest challenge, as I think I mentioned before, was changing into different departments. That is how to say, one of the hardest part in the program, is because sometimes you do like the department, you want to stay in the department, but you got to change. The department, the program is made for you to rotate into different departments. So you got to cut your losses sometimes. Like, yeah, I like this department, but I need to go somewhere else, that kind of thing. And the hardest part is because you are so attached with your work, and you are already blended into the management side of that department. You got to change an entire new leaf because you're jumping into another department. So the hardest part is in that transition period where you have to throw and pick up again, that kind of challenge. And how do you usually stay ahead of this kind of program is have a far sight, I would say. Yeah. Be prepared that you know that I'm going to jump to the next department, and get yourself ready to know that this is the next department I'm going to. I should do a little bit of research on what they are going, and how are the managers there like, and stuff like that. Do some reconnaissance on yourself, and yeah, you should be okay after doing that.
Thank you, Jason. What about you, Tessa?
For me, the most challenging part of the program would be managing expectations and also over-promising outcomes. Because, like, as an MA in Great Eastern, you are not only required to rotate in different departments and focus on your departmental work assignments, you are also required to take up on leadership positions in running the Great Eastern corporate events and running the wellness program events, and also participating in Toastmasters. So in all of those buckets, you don't want to just like be the person that, yes, I've completed everything. You want to be the person, yes, I've completed everything, but I do it with consistency and also provide a quality work. So that is where I find a bit challenging, because like you want to like because as an ME, you are a bit of a try hard. You want to tap on everything, you want to tap on everything, you want to do everything. So like as you are in that mentality, like as you work in that mentality, you're gonna say yes to everything. So that, my friend, like my friends out there, try not to say yes to everything. Try to think about it first, because there are opportunities everywhere in every assignment that is assigned for you. So it can be a challenge when you overpromise and you don't manage expectations of your higher ups properly. So that is what I would say as my biggest challenge. And how I overcome it is by fostering an open communication with my team members. And I will always try to have an open communication, even with my supervisors, just, give them a bit of context on what I'm currently going through, so that everyone can understand like what are the roadblocks we're going through, and we can find a better way to navigate and help each other out. So we do come out with that desired outcome. So it's always important to be open in your communications with your colleagues and your higher ups. Thank you.
Thanks, Tessa. Okay, let's move on to the more positive side about this program. So in your opinion, what was the best part about this program? Let's start with Laura.
How to pick just one? I think for me would be the bonding with the friends in the program, the MA. I don't know, maybe Tessa and Jason, they would agree, but maybe not, because they didn't go through the whole program yet, and also part of it was COVID and they could only see each other virtually and all. But back then, many years ago, with my MAs, we saw each other every day throughout many projects, and the projects are back to back. So I'm working with you on, like, I need to do some research with you on this project, but also I need to see you for another project, and you're also my team lead for another project. So we constantly work very closely to each other, and we learn a lot from each other. So even if I didn't rotate to a certain department, like let's say risk management, my colleague, my other MA will always tell me what goes on in that department, what's the thing they're learning from there now. So yeah, I didn't rotate there, but I know what's going on in that department. I even know the people in that department because I go and visit her very often, and then the boss will be like, hey, hi, you come and catch up her again, and then we'll just talk. So it was always like friendly and open, and always an avenue to meet many people. And in the program itself, yeah, just being able to rely on each other, and still being good friends until now, because you guys are journeying together, like at the start of your career, and adulthood, adult life, buying your first house, first car, all these kind of things. So I think going through that journey together. And also another one would be, when you finish a really big event successfully, like you're really, really, really stressed out. And then the moment the event ends, and be like, okay, like, good job, guys. And you can just like, okay, like I learned a lot. I'm so stressed. I'm so tired, but it went well and I'm done. Like it's like you finished an exam kind of feeling. So yeah, I remember the highs of the event ending more than the stress now lah. If you're going through the stress now, guys, I mean, I'm sure you're still stressed, but after that.
Thanks, Laura. What about you, Jason? What was your favorite part about the program, or is still favorite part about the program so far?
I couldn't agree more than what Laura said, because we have to do a lot of projects, and it could be sometimes a little bit stressful because you have to balance between different kinds of responsibilities over the entire time, because you have your rotational work, you have to host Toastmasters, you have to run our own HR, employee benefits program, and we also have to run like some town halls and things like that. So there are major programs there. It is actually very rewarding at the end of the tunnel when you actually finish the project. You were like, whoa, I did that, man. Like you just feel that sense of relief and achievement that you've done. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So thank you so much, speakers. And we've actually received a few questions from the audience. So we've promised that we were going to address the questions live. So let's do that now. First, we have a question from Kash. How could this program boost their career ventures in other industries or companies that are not related to insurance or finance, like Gradystep? Anyone would like to take on this one?
I can take this one if you guys don't mind. Okay, so how this program can help you boost boost your opportunity to like try it for other industry in other than insurance, correct? So how this program can help? Okay, because of how diverse and well-rounded the program has been, like how the program was designed, you will actually be thrown in departments of multiple categories, such as governance or operations and business systems, and also legal. So it's stuff like that. It doesn't just get tied to insurance. It get tied to other branches of business in a wider business perspective. So you will definitely be able to apply the skills and also the knowledge that you will gain and develop from the rotations that you go through in other aspects of the in multiple other industries. Because when you look at it, a company operates the same way. It's just the product and the vision that they offer is different. So this is how the program will help you, because you're going to get a taste of a bit of everything. So that is how it's going to help you. Thank you. Thank you for the question, Cash, and good luck.
So anyone would like to add into that? So what Tessa has just said?
I think Tessa would be a good example in terms of like trying out new things. Like for example, Tessa went to Digital Affinity rotation, right? So Digital Affinity sells micro insurance through online platforms, digital platforms. So from there, she had learned, I'm sure she has learned, picked up on marketing, dealing with partners, dealing with all the business proposals. It gets pretty technical, making sure the product is a sound product. You're not just going to simply sell nonsense over the internet, right? So from there you pick up so many things and you work with so many different partners. I wouldn't say that's very industry specific, although there are parts of the program or parts of the department which might be quite industry specific, which is, I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. In fact, I mean, I'm sure maybe now insurance doesn't sound like very glamorous or interesting, but it really could be your cup of tea, because like I said, it's really not just limited to finance, actuary kind of work, but other kinds of work which you will really continue to learn a lot from. So while keeping an open mind, but yeah, just know that if you do join, it's like I say, 2 years to really teach you a lot about the working world, maybe understanding how organizational politics work, okay, in the good and bad sense. So yeah, I would think that's an invaluable experience. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Laura and Tessa, for addressing the question from Cash. So moving on, Ashikin would like to know, how did this program help in your career growth and your interpersonal skills, and what skills did you manage to sharpen that has contributed to your adaptability of your current work environment? So Jason, what do you think of this?
All right, thank you, Ashikin, for the question. Um, I always mention this to a lot of people where, because I'm from a different discipline, I have no knowledge about the financial sector and stuff like that. So in a way, through this entire MA program, there is one small little session where we have to go through. It's called the F-Step program, which is the financial. Oh crap, I forgot what's the long name, but yeah, it's the F-Step program. Yeah, you will get to know more about it. Basically what it does, it actually equips you talents that fresh graduates, when they enter into the financial sector, you would not know anything about it. F-Step is there for you to equip you with all this like banking knowledge, insurance knowledge, and like how does the banking sector work and this kind of thing. So yes, in a way, on how career prospects upon joining the MA program is that you have a very, very strong fundamental knowledge about how the banking sector works and how the insurance sector performs. And this information is actually very valuable, because as you are onboarded into maybe other companies in itself, the knowledge of like, oh, how does the financial sector work, it is actually a very valuable information. So next time when your company wants to like apply for bonds or whatever, or wants to insure a product or something, you would have like a general knowledge on, okay, that's how the insurance sector work, and maybe we can form some strategic planning around that sense of stuff. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, Jason. What about you, Tessa? What skills have you developed from this program?
The question was emphasizing on interpersonal, correct?
Yeah.
Development. So if we're touching on that aspect, I would say our knowledge sharing session as well as our Toastmasters Club involvement will definitely boost your interpersonal development skills, because this is the platform where you'll be working with a lot of different peoples, and you're going to be put through some short-term assignments where you have to think strategically on how to present a certain idea properly, or join a debate as the government team or the opposition team properly and stuff like that. So this will require to be using your interpersonal skills to a certain level. So that's how the program can help you develop further in that. Thank you. Thanks for the question, Ashikin.
So there's a question for Laura from Nor Shahira. Can you elaborate regarding the exams management associates are required to sit for, or is this applied to all the management associates in order for them to graduate the program?
Okay. We do have like basic papers that we would want all our MAs to take. We have a certification called LOMA. Okay, so it's a very simple paper that also shares with you some fundamentals of insurance. But in terms of getting more technical into maybe any professional exams and certifications, we do have that for our actuarial graduates. Okay, so those in the actuarial that they want to continue on the actuarial track, we do allow them to take papers, the exam leaves and study leaves, and upon passing, then it in the future will impact their increment, things like that. So we do give the opportunity for that. So it's not like you miss out, because actuarial papers, of course, are a very big part of the actuarial career. As for the others, in terms of taking any other professional certifications, to be upfront, we don't provide for all, like maybe CFA and any other financial papers. Maybe if it's more insurance related and you're rotated to that department, we have some training certifications. We have our fundamentals for insurance under the agency side. So we do have those. That's the more professional ones. But in terms of like other trainings, like soft skills or other technical skills, like Excel and PowerPoint trainings, we do have that in the company. Our company's learning and development culture for the whole company is very strong. So there's always chances to develop yourself. We have our LinkedIn learning as well, where you can take any of the courses that you want from our LinkedIn learning. There's always if you have time to do it, yeah, you can pick up some new skill from there easily.
Okay, thank you, Laura, for the explanation. So next we have a question from Nazrul Roslan. Is there a high chance of absorption in the company after the 2-year program? Yeah. Tessa,
Okay,
would you
I'll
like
just
to
go and
answer
answer
that?
that quickly. The absorption is guaranteed. Okay. I know there are more cutthroat programs out there where if you do not perform or if there's no space, they will kind of kick you out or drop you off. But here we don't do that. You are guaranteed the position. It's just making sure that the department suits you lah. So might take some time, which is why I say we do have flexibility. If it takes you a bit more time, or it might take you a bit quicker to find your placement, we also allow that. So it's not like you have to wait like for exactly 2 years on the dot. It could be a little bit earlier, a little bit later, but we'll make sure we find you a suitable placement. Yeah.
All right. We'll take note on that, the audience. So next question from Joshua. So he's wondering, what would all of you do, when you encounter a problem and are stuck with the problem for days? And what would you do if the seniors are currently busy and unavailable to help you? How do you overcome these obstacles? Jason, would you like to share?
Sorry. All right, just give me a minute to mute this. Sorry, guys, I'm operating from a phone. Okay, anyhow, let me just proceed with the question. It is a very interesting part because we have like a small community within the MA. Yes, is when we have support from our batchmates as well. Not just we don't really fully rely on our seniors, although sometimes we do rely on them. And as an MA, you have special privileges to annoy Laura, It's because Laura takes care of you. So when there is no seniors, so the first person we go and ask, hi Laura, can you help me? Or Laura's boss, or Casey, later you will meet him later on in the interview process. Yeah. So they are actually very important points of information that you can get from Laura and Casey. So you are not left alone, you won't die. You have your batchmate, you have Laura and Casey to support you all the way. Yeah.
So anything you would like to add to that, Tessa?
No, honestly, I definitely agree with Jason. I am forever grateful for my batchmates. And also Laura and Casey. Without my batchmates and Laura and Casey, and whenever I cannot reach my seniors or certain team members, right, these are my pillars of hope. So yeah, Laura and Casey and my batchmates are like my lifesavers. So like Jason said, you will never ever be left alone. It is quite rare to be in that position where like you'll be stuck with the problem for days. You feel like you cannot reach out to anyone. I honestly don't think I'm exaggerating. I kid you not. It is quite rare to be stuck in that position because there's always anyone just there to like reach out for you. Like, it's okay, we can help. We can figure this out together. That's just how we work. So thanks again for the question. That was a good question. It's a good reminder.
Yeah, can I add on while yes, you probably will encounter problems or difficulties, but it's also a skill to reach out to people to get help. Like, don't like be so individualistic to be like, I'm gonna solve this on my own, and if I can't, I'm gonna give up. Like it's not like that 0 to 100 approach. No, like try and like discuss the problem with like maybe just your peers at first, if your team members, which sometimes might be busy, especially with COVID, not everyone's in the office, some people are online or rotating or on quarantine. Like I think being an MA is having the confidence to reach out and ask for help. Bother me if you want, I tell them you can always find me, even though I'm like, oh, stop finding me, but they still find me, and of course I help, right? And same for our boss Casey also. Even though he's our boss, he still always has free time for us. But yeah, so in terms of like taking the effort and communicating that you need help, I think that is a skill as well. Don't take that for granted.
Okay, thank you everyone for sharing. So to sum up the Q&A session, we have one final question from Wafi. So what is the best part about Great Eastern working culture?
I'll take it, guys. I'll take it. No worries. It's a seriously family company, guys. Like legit. It is so hard to feel like a stranger in the company. Like everybody is honestly so friendly and so welcoming. So and there's also a lot of fun corporate events. It is not all work here. It's that we play a lot too. So when we play, we really play, and it's really fun. So like to me, that is the best part of being a part of GE family, and the fact that like there's this strong dynamic of being helpful. You know, like you can always reach out across your command of chain, like command of sorry chain of commands to just to get information, to get like a quick insight on this project that you're working on, or like anything, you know, around the world. So like it is a very open company and also very family oriented. So that's the best part of working at Great Eastern.
So what about you, Jason? What do you think is the best part? I mean, the best part about the Great Eastern working culture?
In a way, is that we are not a me company, we are a we company. Haha. Laura, please praise my love. I promoted that company. No, just kidding. All right. Yeah, it is true though. It's not a me company, it's a we company, meaning that like what Tessa said, regardless of the chain of command, like for example, I have something that I need to ask regarding risk. I can just put them to the head of risk and like, hi, Mr. Blah blah blah. Do you think this is okay to be implemented in a company? And they will actually reply you regardless of, they don't care like, are you a newcomer or are you like a senior executive or anybody? If they have time, they would actually reply you. So it's a very, how do I say, um, it's a very family-like kind of a company. Like they don't really care whether who you are, as long as you take the initiative. Another keyword, initiative, inside the thing. You get where you want to go.
Yeah, I think that's
I'll add on a little bit also.
Sure.
I think also we, of course, try to expose our MAs to the best departments, but to manage everyone's expectations, you will encounter difficult people, difficult departments, or slightly more difficult bosses. You know, there's a boss who's like gonna check like at 2 p.m. Are you back online, that kind of thing. That does happen, and of course, you know, to that you have to adapt to that lah. We are lucky in the environments that we've been so far that it's mostly been very positive. And you know, other than the people, I would also like to add on that we can dress pretty casually here as well. We're not a super formal, uptight company. You know, we do have like business casual. I'm sometimes, most of the time I wear like slippers around near my desk area. You know, I can like, I'm literally sitting on the floor right now in one of like our meeting rooms. So that's how casual you can feel. Like you don't have to be like very nervous, like, you know, always like make sure you're putting on your best face. Like some days you're just like not there, it's okay. It's pretty comfortable. Yeah.
Well, that's so good. So before we end the session, you know, the webinar session, is there any advice for talents who are looking to apply for this program? Let's start with Tessa.
As I mentioned earlier, this company is an open company, and this program is an all-rounders program. So if you believe that you meet the identity or like the requirements to be part of this program, go for it, because this program will definitely like help you further refine and develop your skills and your knowledge, and you'll be able to utilize them almost anywhere. So just go for it. That is my advice. If you're unsure on like where you want to set your roots and you still want to explore, come join us.
That's good advice, Tessa. Thank you. What about you, Jason? Any advice to the audience?
I guess one part is like, okay, just a little tip is like during the interview process, there's one part you need to do a presentation, right? So keep in mind that you need to do a presentation. And I think this is where I think Laura and Casey really, really evaluates you. Put the initiative in to go and do some research and present something that is wonderful, exceptional, and stuff like that. And that will really attract and increase your chances to be actually rehired as an MA. Yep.
Thank you, Jason. Last but not least, Laura, any advice for the future management associates?
Yeah, I think Tessa and Jason said it well, you know, otherwise they wouldn't be here, right? They had those qualities and that's why we hired them. But for the rest, you know, think clearly about what you want for your future. if you know, like you say, you want to do a permanent role straight away, you want to come into insurance industry, it's might not be your cup of tea now, but you know, always have an open mind, and be, to me, one of the points of this program is always to meet people that will challenge you. So the other MBAs will challenge you. If you already think you're a high achiever now, or what you want to be pushed even more, then you come and join. Come and be impressed by the other MBAs who are like amazing at public speaking, video editing, acting, dancing, singing, you know, yeah, anything that they can do. If you think you can do it, they can do it better, and it will push you to do even more. So that is, you know, if you want to be a person that's pushed by your friends, and it's not that competitive or what, in terms, I think everyone's very supportive of each other. So if you want to be part of that environment, I think this is the place to be.
Oops. So I guess that marks our, that marks the end of our session for today. So I would like to thank all of the speakers for giving, such valuable knowledge and for sharing your experience about this management program. And also to thank you to everyone tuning in. I hope everyone had a good time and got a few pointers on how to secure a placement at the Gradystep Malaysia as the management associate. So as I've announced in the beginning, Grayson is giving away 15 10 ringgit credit vouchers. So to those who have, followed them on the Instagram, which is Life at Grayson Malaysia, and private message them your details. Here is the poster. Yeah, to anyone who's followed them and private message them with details to redeem the vouchers, do stay tuned to receive your vouchers. And congratulations to those who's redeemed the vouchers. Okay. So also to those who are interested to apply for this program, do visit Gradystep Malaysia's website for more information on the program and also to drop your application. So stay tuned for the next Gradystep webinar, which will be happening very soon. So, do follow us on our Instagram at Graduan and at Live at Gradystep Malaysia for future updates on the upcoming webinars. So once again, thank you and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, Dania.
Thank
Thanks,
you, Dania.
everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.